So we gave a keynote about OpenLab Monday, and so what we'll do here is just essentially talk about a quick overview of OpenLab, what's available, use cases you might think about doing in OpenLab, some of the stuff we've done since Sydney, and we're going to have a Q&A, but I don't think the format will allow for that. So quickly, what is OpenLab? So our mission essentially is about integration testing, reporting, validation, development of tools and applications for hybrid and multi-cloud environments. And the message of OpenLab is integration and validation, again, of cloud ecosystem tooling, support of hybrid multi-cloud validation, so not just the development and integration, but supporting it, and then also ensuring that we're doing this across communities and across companies. And we do this in a variety of ways. So we have readily available support people and communication channels that you all are used to, like IRC and participate in Slack. We have powerful cross-project gating of code changes via Zool, specifically Zool v3, and collaboration with entities across, again, various industry sectors. And we're proponents of the 4 opens philosophy. So in Sydney, OpenLab was announced, and these were the 5 companies that seeded the effort. And again, as was spoken in keynotes, it's not just about those company logos, but it is about the people who are actually doing the work. And here's some of the pictures of the great community people who have been helping out, and specifically with the cloud provider OpenStack and the testing that we do. So I want to give you an idea of what's available in OpenLab. So in terms of hardware, we have dedicated servers, we've got OpenStack VMs, non-OpenStack VMs, we've got programmable network devices, bare metal nodes run by OpenStack, and the environments are shareable, the configuration specifically. It's federated, it's geographically dispersed, so we can do a lot of different types of testing, not just within, something that you may think, oh, I can do this at home in my backyard or my back office, but something you can do across the world. And you only saw 5 logos initially, but as you can see, there's quite a few more people who are already involved in the OpenLab effort. And I want to look at a couple of them really quick. Chameleon Cloud and Cloud Lab, these are 2 of our academia supporters, or supporters from academia. And so Kate is a pioneer in infrastructure cloud computing, if you don't know her. She created the Nimbus project, and amongst her many hats, she's currently senior fellow at the Computation Institute at the University of Chicago. And Robert is a research associate professor for the Flux Research Group School of Computing at the University of Utah. So I'm going to jump out really quick here, and I'm going to go to first Chameleon Cloud. And what's great is that we have an account here as OpenLab, and it's at a high level, so it's not just like any user coming and trying to use Chameleon Cloud, but we actually have what they consider like a project that other users can be underneath. And so, again, let me just log in really quick. Sorry about that little issue there. All right, and so what you see here is we have a few active projects right now. So they give us an allocation of resources for a set amount of time over a set number of months. And we're able to see, if people who request use resources are actually using them. And again, the important part about this is that it's all open source, it's all free. And our main ask is that you make the things that you use the stuff first, but then you make what you're using public to the communities at large. And again, because this is academia, it's very important that people are educated and informed about what's going on. And so one thing to look at here is that, like I said, the configurations are shareable. And we have a number of different things that you could do, but this catalog allows you to take some of the things that you're doing and make it available to other people. And then, again, you as someone who may not have created something but wants to try something out, you can come here and click on this and provision some resources. There's a lot of hardware that is available as well, as I said. And with the hardware tab, you're able to see the different kinds of configurations or things you want to maybe look at to determine some tests that you think you could use OpenLab for. And what's also great about Chameleon Cloud is that it's OpenStack under the hood. So not only KVM in terms of VMs, but also bare metal. So when you use Chameleon Cloud, you essentially are coming to Horizon interface that you're familiar with. And then the other one, again, is Cloud Lab. And same here, we have a high-level account with Cloud Lab that allows us to create additional projects underneath. And so in Cloud Lab, they use these terms called profiles and experiments. So the application catalog is kind of similar, pretty much a one-to-one comparison to profiles here. So you essentially create a profile, and what's great is that you can create these profiles by using icons, so you can visualize them. And as you're creating them, you can set a number of different options for what you're going to spin up and how do you want things to interact and talk with each other. Again, is very, you can be very meticulous about how you want to configure your environments, your tests, your experiments, sorry. And what I love about this is when you click Start Experiment, if you have no idea exactly what you want to do, but you know you want OpenStack, OpenStack for Cloud Lab is, it's a first-class citizen. So when you click Start Experiment, the profile that you see amongst all the profiles of all the experimenters is OpenStack. And you just click on Next. You can see that you can select all the way from Juno up to Pike. You can set how many compute nodes you want, different types of hardware, your link speed. Is very easy to just click Next and get started, or if you want it to be, expressive, you can get down into the nitty-gritty of how your OpenStack deployment is done. All right, so I won't actually deploy anything, but it doesn't take long. Let's jump back into our slides really quick here. All right, so again, what's available for Chameleon Cloud is, like, we have ARM64, Atom, FPGA, OpenStack Bare Metal. The application catalog, there's crazy filtering. I'm not sure if you can see that slide, but again, you can get down to what type of network card, who's the manufacturer of the network card for these devices, because I want to try out some network card specific tests. And then again with Cloud Lab, you can deploy OpenStack very easily and Juno all the way up to master. So the idea is that while we're constantly developing code, everyone's not running the latest and greatest. But if you want to test out, if I upgrade, am I going to run into any issues? If I run into issues, I don't want those issues to surface in master. I want them to happen in some test environment. All right, so the use cases for OpenLab, again, they're very robust. You can talk about all these different architectures, all these different options you have, different types of deployments of OpenStack. And then we have the great project gating from Zool. And what we want to have as some key output is, as a user, you're concerned about an integration and you want to know this integration, what versions of different pieces of these items work together that you guys have tested or we've tested in OpenLab, so you can go and try things out. So since Sydney, as we demonstrated on the stage, we've done multi-architecture Kubernetes using the OpenStack cloud provider for Kubernetes, using Cinder for volume attachment, using Octavia for load balancing. And once you go out and you add this stuff to your cloud, you're ready out the gate to be fully conformant and multi-architecture ready for Kubernetes. And as we stated again, of course, GCE, you would expect to see them there. If GCE is not passing conformance, there's a big problem. and the other cloud right now, of course, is OpenStack, as you can see there. And I wanted to, I did want to try out like a live demo, but unfortunately, I didn't think we would have enough time. But if you go to this super user article about Keystone and Kubernetes, so we did demonstrate, this WordPress thing, but there's a lot of other work also that's going on. And Saverio and Lingshan are two people who have put a lot of effort into Keystone and Kubernetes, and they have a great ASCII demo video that you can watch that will help you understand everything that's going on, and it's associated with that article if you want to try it out on your own. And then for getting in contact to get started with testing, if you visit openlabtesting.org, click on Get Started. There's a really simple form you fill out. If you want to support OpenLab, again, you click on Support OpenLab. There are tabs at the top which are very easily accessible. And you can support OpenLab in any way that you see fit. We would love for you, if nothing else, to come to Freenode and discuss with us. Come to GitHub, work on some of the code, or just simply email info@openlabtesting.org. And that's it. Thank you. Take it.
Thank you, Melvin, Dims, and Chris. Your work is really a testament to the power of open collaboration, collaborating across organizations, but also across communities. This concludes this container infrastructure keynote. Do we have time for questions? Yes.
In the slides that you showed, one of the slides you showed networking plugins. Do you have options to choose different plugins?
Yes, like I said, I can only show a little bit of all the options, the filtering that's available, but it's a very long line of do you want Dell? Do you want specific models of Dell? Do you want, again, 4-port network devices, 2 ports? Like it's a lot of variation there. Yeah.
And second part of the question is, if we want to put our networking plugin in the OpenLab, who should we contact?
Oh, so in terms of a plugin, what we would probably do is I would say go fill out the get started, click on Get Started, fill that out, because what's great about OpenLab is that we actually talk to each other, and we can try to understand what exactly the use case you're wanting to solve in terms of a plugin. But I don't think I'm probably misunderstanding, but it's not like it's not an OpenStack plugin like VMware or something. Yeah.
Plus the plugins that you choose and run it in OpenLab for sure, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Contrail networking plugin.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, with the testing. Okay. Sorry about that.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question? Okay, well, this concludes this container infrastructure keynote. We'll have Edge infrastructure keynote starting at 9 a.m. in this room tomorrow morning. In the meantime, have a great time at the OpenStack Summit. Thank you.